Mr. President, I interrupted a moment ago. They just on the face of the Pentagon, every year for the last 23 years, we have gone down to the Pentagon at 6:46. That's sunrise down in the Washington, D.C. area. When they unfurl that flag to commemorate American Airlines Flight 77 that crashed into the Pentagon, it killed all 64 on board, 125 people at the Pentagon. 184 people lost their lives 23 years ago today. And I know you are going to take part in some of the commemorations as well here in New York City and in Pennsylvania.
That's right. I'll be doing that in a little while. In fact, right after this call, I leave. I'm going down to the World Trade Center site, and I'll be down there for much of it. JD's going with me. And we had a great talk about it yesterday. It was very, very sad, horrible day. Horrible day. There's never been anything like it. Just a horrible day. And then going to Pennsylvania, of course. And so I'm going to be doing both of them. Sometimes I'll do all three. Sometimes it doesn't work out when they're sort of simultaneously done, but we're going to be doing two of them today.
So last night, all three planes are there. You got Air Force 2, you got Trump Force 1, J.D. Vance's plane. We're all together. You guys are going to be at the site together. President Biden, I think, will be there. Are you going to say anything to them?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's,
Trump literally is Mr. Silver Lining. For those of you who don't know, he straight up, he's lied a lot about 9/11. He openly repeated the lie that Muslims were dancing on the rooftops. That was just me. Okay. And to be fair, it was a Zumba class. So everyone needs to calm down. Wait, Shannon Sharp accidentally went live while having sex with a girl? Ain't no fucking way. He's saying he was hacked. Oh my God, dude. Okay. I love Unc. I suspect I didn't even hear it, and I suspect his stroke game must have been on point. I haven't even seen it. I haven't heard it. Unc is in phenomenal shape. Okay, come on, bro. Be for real right now. Listen, he's great. He was growling. Why are you thinking of that, freaky, bro? People are saying he was growling. Anyway, let's continue with 9/11.
Look, everybody should be very angry at how badly they've run this country. Millions of people are floating into our country. Many of them should not be here. They're criminals, many criminals coming in, many terrorists coming in, people coming. They're emptying their jails into our country. They're emptying, think of it, they're emptying their mental institutions. People that are mentally ill are being dropped into our country. And these two people, and it's both of them, they allow it to happen. What they're doing is terrible. I saw your report yesterday in Ohio, with Springfield, Ohio. And Aurora, if you look at Colorado, Colorado, these thugs from Venezuela and Aurora have taken over. People from Haiti, I guess, have come in illegally, totally come in illegally into our country, and
Do you think you made that point last night?
Ohio.
Do you think you made that? Do you think you made that point last night that you believe the border is directly affecting all these cities and all these towns?
Oh, I think I made it twice or maybe even three times. In fact, I said, I wonder if I'm saying this is too much. How can you say it too much? They've allowed 21 million, I think is the real number. It could be more than that. 21, that's bigger than New York State. They've allowed 21 million people to come into our country. Many of these people are criminals. Right. And by the way, those countries are being emptied out of their criminals, and their crime rates are way down. Their prison populations are being dumped into the United States. Their populations in prison are way down. Their mental institutions, their populations are way down. And it's all over the world. It's not just South America. They're coming in from the Congo and Africa. They're coming from all over the world, the Middle East, Europe, Asia. They're coming in from everywhere, not just South America. And they're coming in at numbers you've never seen. They're literally destroying our country. These people have no idea, or maybe they do. The only reason they can be doing it is because they hate our country. They hate our country.
Yeah, when you compare the border numbers, the terror watch list suspects under you, there were 11. Under Kamala Harris, 375. Now, foreign policy did come up at last night's debate. Listen to this soundbite, or our audience can listen to this, and we'll get your reaction on the other side.
If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals.
Dude, anytime I hear a Republican talk about fucking Democrats, I'm like, oh, fuck, I wish. It's like, bro really said Kamala Harris is a Marxist who wants to defeat Israel, okay? Like, I can't even imagine, and wants to give everybody health care. Kamala Harris wants to give everybody government-assigned health care, is a Marxist, a radical Marxist, and wants to defeat Israel. It just makes me more mad. I'm like, damn, dude. You fucking imagine? I wish. That'd be so sick. Nevertheless, the Israel proportion of the debate was a dick-riding Olympics where each candidate tried to outflank one another on who is going to ride it harder. Okay? Yeah, there's a good someone in the chat made a good point. If she's a Marxist but also copying Trump's positions, does that mean Trump is a Marxist? Well, if you ask MAGA communists, then yes. Trump is the only real Marxist in America, actually. Everyone else is phony. Dude, I talk to normies all the time, and let me tell you something, okay? Normies are genuinely oblivious that there's even any kind of like pro-Gaza sentiment happening. Because a lot of normies are just like invested in the media narratives, and that's it. They just like don't pay attention to any of the polls and shit that I talk about. So when I talk to normies, they're like shocked. Talking to someone about how like there are at least like a couple 100,000 voters, and that this stuff is like Kamala Harris's sentiment on Gaza and not separating herself from Biden is legitimately harmful to her chances of winning Michigan. They were shocked. They're like, what? Really? Like, they have no idea. And that's partially because the media does not cover this at all. It's going to be a real Hillary, Wisconsin repeat come November. You know, it's going to be a real fucking repeat of that where they're like, wait, what? I thought we were doing well. What the fuck happened? Polls keep coming out. Polls keep coming out over and over again. In key swing states, the U.S. is too involved in foreign wars and world affairs. Most worry about World War III approaching. That's why Trump keeps repeating that line. That's why not a single fucking outlet covered the pro-Palestinian demonstrations that were happening outside in the streets of Philadelphia during the debate and before the debate. There's an almost complete blackout of this convo. Very interesting.
Deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal.
It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, we were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have left many Americans behind. They blew it.
You said when you were at the town hall with Sean Hannity, you said a lot of people, you might not like me, but you're safer under me. You have more money in your bank accounts under me. So why do you think our country would be safer under you, Mr. President?
Because I deal with foreign policy. I'll give you an example. Afghanistan, we had a great agreement, but it was agreement subject to them doing a lot of different things. They didn't do those things. And when they didn't do them, we terminate the agreement. These clowns had no idea what to do. They had Milley, who's incompetent. They had Biden, who's incompetent. All of the people are incompetent. Nobody ever gets fired. They don't fire anybody. They let them just stay on, retire, no problem. Milley should have been fired and reprimanded like you've never seen. These people are incompetent. They left billions of dollars worth of equipment behind, yet 13 dead soldiers. They shouldn't have used that airport. They should have used Bagram, which, by the way, they gave up, and they shouldn't have given it up because that's only 1 hour away from China where they make their nuclear weapons. No, they took a good agreement, but the agreement was subject to the Taliban doing things. And remember this, just in ending that, I went 18 months without one soldier killed. I spoke to the head of the Taliban, Abdul, and I said, I had a nice, tough talk with him. Not one soldier was killed in 18 months until that catastrophe happened. It was absolutely, we were running it perfectly. But the agreement didn't mean anything because they had to, in other words, to have the agreement kick in.
It was conditions-based.
They didn't do the things. Who would take the military out first? They're incompetent. They took the military out first. You're supposed to take the military out last. And they left lots of Americans behind. And then they had the worst airlift nobody's ever seen. People falling off an airplane from 3,000 feet in the air. Many people. They are incompetent. incompetent, and they shouldn't be running the country, and we'll end up in World War III because of these fools.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to Lawrence Jones, who we know you think is doing a great job, and he is. There he is. He's live in a diner. He's also in Pennsylvania. He's in Washington, Pennsylvania. And he's talking to the people. And I think, Lawrence, right, some of the folks in the diner want to ask the president questions.
That's exactly right, Ainsley. Let's bring it out to the people. Mr. President, not a lot from the moderators about the issues last night, but in this swing state of Pennsylvania, these issues are true. Sir, you own a car dealership, part owner of it, and you say, this is your birthday, by the way.
It is.
And what is your question for the president?
Good morning, President Trump. My question is, what are some of the immediate steps that you will take to improve the economy and get us out of this mess that Biden and Harris have left us in?
Right. Great question. The first thing I do is close up the border. People have to come into our country legally. They can't come in the way they're doing now. We have millions and millions of people
They can't hear him, by the way. I don't think they can hear him.
coming in even a month on a monthly basis, and they're destroying our country, and it affects our economy. The other thing I do is drill, baby, drill. I'd be drilling, and I'd get energy prices, and I'll reduce your energy by half within 12 months. Half. And I hope that Lawrence, if you're listening, Lawrence, I hope you go and do a little shout-out poll. And I don't know the people there, but I love the people there. I can see it. But why don't you do a shout-out poll who they thought won the debate last night? It would be great.
You know, we always do the poll at the end, Mr. President.
Yeah, I wonder who these people thought won the debate last night. This is probably 50-50, you know?
I think you.
Why don't you do it while I'm on the phone? Yeah, but I'm on the phone now.
Okay. So, but Mr. President, this young lady right here, she's concerned about the future of the country. She's concerned about the grandkids, and she's concerned about the stress on these parents. Ma'am, what is your question for the former president?
I would like to know what kind of programs or policies he could implement to reduce the parental stress with parents having to work 1, 2. I have family members who are working 3 jobs trying to make ends meet right now.
Yeah.
Spending more and more.
Oh, super easy. I'm going to kill Venezuelans. What? That's right. That's right. They're eating the cats, the Venezuelans and the Haitians. They're eating the cats, and then they're going to eat your children. I'm going to kill them before they kill your children.
More time away from their families.
That's right. Well, we have big,
What are you going to do on day
probably
one, Mr. President?
Right. Child care is a number one priority, and I have no choice because I have a daughter named Ivanka, and maybe you never heard of my Ivanka, but I have a daughter named Ivanka, and that's all she talks to me about is child care for the people, and she's the one that got it started, and Marco Rubio helped a lot, and a lot of the Republican senators, we put in a great child care, and we'll be expanding that, and that will help you a lot.
So, Mr. President, we got a young voter right here. Not.
Oh, so nothing. Okay, got it. That's cool. So no policies. Dude, come on, man. You're running for president. Be fucking serious, dude. Be for fucking real, dog. You don't have like he doesn't even give a fuck enough to actually come out with any policies, dude. It's pissing me off. Fuck, man. I hate this country so much sometimes. This is one of those moments where I just I despise my fucking fellow American citizens where they're just don't demand more from their elected representatives. I despise the Republicans that are just yeah, I don't even care. The policies are fucking, they don't need to exist. I just like Trump on the vibes alone. And the same goes for Democrats who just do not have any expectation from Kamala Harris whatsoever. They just don't want Trump. So they're nope, no matter what they say or do, it's good. The fundamental basis for theoretical democracy relies on extracting concessions from your elected representatives. This is, we might as well not call it a democracy at that point. If you're not going to make any demands, and if you're not going to, and if you're just going to be yeah, no demands, all right, well, still voting though, don't really care.
all the young people are voting for Kamala Harris, but you have a concern about the media and cutting through the noise there. What is your question for the former president?
Hello, President Trump. I'm just curious on how you're going to combat the all the fake news and break through some of the noise to get the undecided voters to vote for you this November.
Well,
by doing a show like this. What are you going to do?
It's a great question, because you really do it by doing a show like this with Lawrence and the group. You have to get your word out, and you don't have a fair media. You have a
Yeah, the undecided voters watching fucking Fox News at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Those are the undecideds.
very liberal biased media. I have no idea why. I actually have no idea. Think of it. They don't want walls. They don't want borders. They don't want good economies. The things they want are destructive to our country. But I will tell you that it's very important, if you're doing what I'm doing, you have to do shows like this. That's another thing. Kamala doesn't do any shows. She doesn't do interviews. She doesn't talk to people. She doesn't do anything like that.
I like that. Like, Trump is like, yeah, you got to do shows like this by going on fucking Fox News. Like, come on, dog. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're going on Fox News. You've been interviewed by Elon Musk, and like the most contentious conversation you had was with fucking Theo Vaughn. Why is Kamala not going on Theo Vaughn?
And that's not fair to the public, because they don't know what they're getting. But they saw last night what they had. They had a rigged show with somebody that maybe even had the answers. I mean, I'll be honest. I watched her talk, and I said, she seems awfully familiar with the questions, and you get pretty good at that stuff after a while. But when I saw how totally rigged that was, I take a look at it, and I watch, and I say, you have to get out there. And one of the things I did is I said, let's do this show at, like, what time is it? 6:30 in the morning. And it's an honor to do it. But you have to go out and you have to do the shows. You have to go out and do media. And some of the media is honest. It's not all dishonest. That's the good news. But much of it is. I'd say it's close to 80%. And I mean seriously dishonest.
So, Mr. President, the final question. We're in Pennsylvania. We cannot let this interview end without talking about fracking. And there's a lot of people
There's something really funny about Donald Trump refusing to prepare, flexing that he's not preparing, and then being mad that Kamala Harris was prepared. Like, dude, obviously the interview questions were the expected questions. Like, they're not going to ask you about, I don't know, what your fucking favorite seasoning is to put on chicken. Okay. That's like, they're not going to ask you unexpected questions. They're going to ask you about, like, they're going to ask Kamala Harris, like, what do you think needs to be changed about the economy after the past 4 years? Do you think that America is better off now than they were 4 years ago? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, that's a normal question that you should predict is coming for you, and then, figure out the best way to message around that. For Kamala Harris, a really solid way to message around these tricky questions was to oftentimes just dagger Trump. Give like a little bit of an answer, then hit a fucking light jab in Trump's direction, and then have Trump fucking flounder like a goddamn fish out of water for 30 seconds to 60 seconds.
Concerned about what happened on the debate stage last night, and that Kamala Harris' position wasn't fully prosecuted yesterday. The people know that she flip-flopped on the issue. Right. So how are you going to make the case so you can win Pennsylvania? So I'm leading in Pennsylvania in just about all the polls, and I'm leading by some in a lot. And one of the issues is fracking. I've been from fracking it's like the day I was born, always fracking. She's always been against it, and she's been against it strongly. And if she won, she would end fracking in Pennsylvania 100%. She would end it, and that would be it. All she's doing is she just changed her view just a very short time ago. She went, I'm totally in favor of fracking all of a sudden. She is totally against it. You have every clip, and Sean Hannity plays them every night. Every clip, she's against fracking. All of a sudden, she's losing in the polls. She's not doing down. Her president is doing horribly. How did he do in the debate? At least she could speak.
but her president goes down. They did a palace coup on the president. She comes out and she does fracking. So I say to the people of Pennsylvania, you know what you have with Trump, and I'm with you. I went to school in Pennsylvania. I have my friends in Pennsylvania, and I'm a fracker, and that's 500,000 jobs in Pennsylvania and a lot of your income. Pennsylvania would be devastated if they take that away. She will
There is not 500,000 jobs in Pennsylvania for fracking. What the fuck is he saying, bro? That's like nationally there's 500 jobs in fracking, okay? Despite what fracking execs want you to believe, the industry has little impact on state job numbers. In 2023, it accounted for 19,452 direct and indirect jobs. Pennsylvania's natural gas sector supports 123. Dog, this is United Shale Advocates. You just sent me a PR. You just sent me, like, this is literally worse than just having like British Petroleum's own website share this data. The total number of people employed by the hydraulic fracturing services industry in the U.S. as of 2023 is 61,000. The number in Pennsylvania for direct and indirect jobs that pertain to fracking is what is it, like 20,000? What's really crazy about it is that even this fucking Shale Insight, Marcellus Shale Coalition, a part of the United Shale Advocates organization, a think tank, even they're not fucking saying 500,000. Even they're saying 120,000, which is a lie.
Obviously take that away. Oh, she'll take away drilling in Texas. She's going to take away. They ended Anwar, the biggest oil site in the world that Ronald Reagan couldn't get in Alaska. They ended it. I got it approved, and they ended it. And nobody can.
Why don't you fact check Harris? I have. I also promise you, I hate Kamala Harris more than you. Okay? I promise you. You're fucking stupid. Your hatred for Kamala Harris pertains to her not being Donald Trump. And it's scary for you, this like person that you think is like a Marxist, okay? I promise you. You are afraid because you think, oh, the Democratic Party is scary. They're going to like make me gay or whatever the fuck you think in your mind. To be fair, they're probably racist so they hate her more. Maybe. Most likely.
Can believe they did. We had the biggest site in the world. They ended it in the first week in office. Think of that. Yeah. They cut the Keystone Pipeline. They will end fracking. Keystone Pipeline, one of the biggest pipelines in the world, they ended it in the first day or the first week that he was in office. They will end fracking because she's not a fracker, and they'll also take away your guns. They will confiscate your guns.
Mr. President, thank you so much for talking to the folks here in Pennsylvania at the diner. I'll send it back to the couch because I know you have a prior commitment to go visit the heroes at 9/11 Memorial.
Well, I want you to take that poll, though.
I feel good. All right, joining us now, he's on the set in the spin room himself. Did you have fun?
I had a
How do you even fact check the idea that Trump is going to enact Project 2025? Dude, if you think that that is a false statement from Kamala Harris, you're delusional. Okay. The Heritage Foundation runs the motherfucking Republican Party's agenda. Okay. That's it. If you do not recognize that, you're a fucking delusional little idiot.
good time. I think it was our best debate ever. I thought it was really good. We had 3 against 1.